grassy pastures. Sure. Sure, why not?
I mean, take it back to his childhood of being
in the fields.
The posh open areas of the north of England, the beautiful
Did you not have a field?
God's country.
Lord above. Right, Richard has never seen the outside world, clearly kept in a cage for a while, but they are being let out of the plane. So let's see where people are going. Again, Miramar was interesting to me on the first game because we got to see that adjustment between the group stage, Group A and Group B, all kind of combining, new drops, new potential clashes. Everything is going to be wonderful. Rich, where do we need to look? Where's the big action? Where's the big storylines?
I think coming into this, Froz happily provided us a little bit of a guide and spoke about where teams could be going from or to. It'll be quite busy down towards the south. NLT usually likes to go towards Sosnovka, but given this plane path, I'd say it's going to be an extremely difficult route, and given the fact that they're actually going to Severny, is definitely going to make this perpendicular, polar opposite to where they're actually going to be. Difficult times ahead for FaZe Clan. Again, this is all plane persistent. They are forced to go to the west coast, which we have seen them do this before. This is kind of a backup drop. They've also dropped in Primorsk a fair few times. However, Unity will be ahead of the game and be able to take out Prim and leave that to themselves. One player, Orange Snow, just drifting back to make sure that they keep tabs on where FaZe Clan are going to be and where they're going to be going. Interesting circle. If this goes to the east, it's a little bit weighted towards there, but certainly in the north.
Not a milli circle, I don't.
And there's well, I mean, it's quite good because they've got no teams on there, so the rough rotation across from Millie won't be too difficult. Everybody up in the north of Erangel.
Absolutely right.
I'm just seeing who's going to be on home turf here. Okay, so NIP, that's good for them. Avangar, usual places, Georgia Paul, no issues at all. Liquid, easy peasy. Pachinki, job done. Desperados, for them, this is home turf. But one of the benefits they have now of this playing path, kind of like what FaZe would have had should they have gone to Mill to Power, there's literally no one around. TSM aren't here, G2 aren't here, the Knights, to a larger extent further up north, they're not here. Like, if we get a playing path that favors, or at least allows people to go to Mill to Power, FaZe have got so much time in the world to loot. Like, I think for the rest of the server right now, this plane's actually been good to them because it's denied them access to Mill to Power. But yeah, this it does free up quite a lot eastern side, further down in the south.
We'll just have to wait and see. Again, there's a lot of territory available in that center of the circle. I don't think there's anyone's school. I think Digital Athletics put one man in towards the apartments. But there's a lot of freedom here. 3D Max splitting up as Naya right now. Again, this is a relatively calm circle. This doesn't really put anyone out. I guess Unity have a little bit further to go, but it's still pretty much fair game for anyone at this point, which I quite like. I enjoy the idea that these teams do get to kind of have their loot. I am wondering if FaZe do adjust down the line purely because they have so much freedom. Again, that plane path didn't really support where they were going, but, you know, again, if that becomes an option, it'd be quite enjoyable. Ence going through the usual Northern Lights. No one's really going to have any pressure anytime soon.
Team that needs to step up this game, especially for this map, it's going to have to be 3D Max. They're currently sitting in last place, dead 16th, and they only have 1 point, and that came from a single kill across 2 games. Now, according to Froz is wonderful, and I'll not take credit for anyone else's work. Froz does his research. Their average placement of Miramar was 5.5, so quite high up. On Erangel, it's 7.2, so statistically, over the group stage, this has been a weaker map for them. But I don't really know how you can get much worse when you've come 14th and 11th with 1 kill across 2 maps.
The only way is up.
I suppose so. I mean...
Also a great song.
Yeah, there is that. Yeah, if they get 1 more kill, they'll have done better than 2 maps together, so...
There is that.
Let's look for it.
Lovely silver lining, Richard. We appreciate you. Positive spin on stats. Let's have a little look throughout and see if there's anyone on those early rotations. Do we have any scouts beginning maneuvers? We do have 3D Max looking to try and get a little bit closer. They did leave Yaz Naya. Zoekt Een Naam, where are they right now? They're kind of split up, actually, saying that. There's not just a couple of them together. They're very, very isolated from each other. Melman's found Paige, but Paige doesn't have any support nearby. And Compod's there to help Melman, so really Paige is in a bit of a spot of bother. And there is a VSS looking their way too. Now, it may be small, but it is mighty. As Melman's going to back off from this one. Only a level 1 helmet, so maybe not wanting to just peek the ridgeline constantly either. and open up any potential threats. And Paige is kind of locked into this.
It's a good spot to take. It's not quite center of the circle, but it gives you a lot of options for the rotation. You have these two hills. What you've seen Tornado Energy kicking it around. It denies line of sight from further afield, so it gives you an option. VSS still going hard here. Again, plenty of bullets in the chambers. There are a few grenades, meds as well, so take a fight if it needs to, but Areki has turned up. It looks to me like Tornado Energy, they rested too easy and they committed too much. This could be a second one down. They have absolutely dropped the ball in a huge way. They have overcommitted to this. They have overstayed their welcome, and they have just been frigging punished.
They absolutely have. That is a really nice pickup. Zoekt Een Naam, we said they were split. They were isolated 1-to-1. They pulled their players over. Simple as it is. Oh, yes, yes. No, no. You could have punched him. I was very excited for the punching.
Wasted ammo there.
Thanks for trying to clarify that that was a good idea. I'm just an idiot. Don't try and make it seem like a thing.
Now they're in a two-man stack over here. This will be over at Heaven. It's not a bad place. There's a little bit more towards the eastern side, so the circle has to go their way. Easy for Ence. Staring down the barrel here, we see Anime Lord 6 times on the back of the SLR. Done a fair amount of damage to Mikas. His teammate is here, Squeaky. Be able to use that mutant. Certainly a strong gun in itself. I think about 200 meters you can two-tap with this thing. It's absolutely disgusting, but the response is there. I'm a little bit concerned that he's going to make a press onto this one, and Squeaky will already...
BDP. In we go. Anime Lord, bro, you've got a name like that. You've got to commit. You've got to come into this swinging. It's pulled up. Spots out Squeaky. Nade to hand. Going to back away from that one. Good choice. Probably the smart choice. Going to get the kill on Mikas. That's the next question. Uh-oh, here comes the cavalry. Anime Lord, bro, might be in danger. And here comes everyone else. Apparently, here comes the pull-up. Drively is there. Quizzy trades it out, though. This hasn't gone either way yet. There's still players standing for both sides. Squeaky on the corner. Carefully. Trying to crawl back here. Mikas might be left to the wolves. Actually, he can't make it around the corner, but here comes Rustamon. Quizzy hits the deck. Oh, this is good. That's really good for Quizzy. He pokes up at the right time, just as the spray is there from Rustamon. Oh, Quizzy, where's your head at? Just running around that corner, desperate for the kill to confirm it, to flush it. And now that's where the errors have occurred. Squeaky waited patiently and just punished. But Ence, that wasn't pretty.
Perfect kills. It's an eyeliner on the here. This could be another kill or two. They lose 2 during that engagement, but without taking a fair amount of damage. Mikas, they have to put up the smokes here. He's still bleeding out the waistline. This is his first knock, so it is slow, but you've got to go now, Squeaky. Your man needs help. Get the boy up, which they will do. Maicho's actually off in the distance, so he shouldn't have an eyeline on this one. Fair amount of time between them. I suppose the only positive thing for that, I mean, both sides pick up points, right, for the engagement. However, not without casualties. When we look towards the side of Ence, they will have the body bags, so if they have any upgrades they need, helmets, vests, ammunition, weapons, scopes, they're all there. Meds, attachments, again, there's so much intricacies of PUBG that we don't even get into when we talk about the bigger game of utility and weapon. There's going to be a tag again on perfect kills on the hillside, which is another warning shot. Okay, this is totally different than what I expected from Unity. They've gone from Prim and up to go for the Western Bridge and actually roll over to Sosnovka Island. We've seen a CIS roster do this before. I think it actually might have been Navi, because Batulin, I'm definitely known for a fact he's somewhere been involved in this one, either on the offensive team that took defensive stand or going forward on the offensive side of it. So they'll go for the wide swing across Sosnovka. We'll check in with School over by the swimming pool. Jempty just looking up towards the water tower. Samty holding a downstairs little cubby hole if someone wants to sneak in. Circle, she shifts. She keeps the water in the north. So I'd say we're playing a more southern game. Look for Roshawk, look for School just to that eastern side.
Time to batten down the hatches if you're Digital Athletics, 3D Max, Team Liquid. Teams are about to come your way.
I think 3D Max need to be careful for the simple fact that they have solo players holding down Hudson. Trying to make something happen to Reki. He doesn't get inside. Again, 3D having such a wide split here.
That's a old shot too.
Multiple angles. I mean, he was pretty weak coming off the back of it, but to be able to still clip him before he gets in, that's going to get stolen, right? Unless that's a different team.
I think that might be stolen. They're desperately trying to get there for it.
Yoink.
It's Na'Vi to claim that.
So to be able to crawl back, that's decent for Na'Vi. 3 point. And that's the biggest advantage, in my opinion, of having these DMRs over the snipers, is that it's not an automatic, but you can just keep on spamming it down to try and mop up any players that you see knocked. Hello.
Vard, yes, Vard. What a pull-up. NIP get 2 players across the bridge, and the players on foot, or at least the other 2 side of them, suddenly came in. Maybe Northern Lights a little tunnel vision there, kind of overly focused on what happened. There's going to be a lot of kills coming in that kill feed because all of these teams want to move to the south. They know how this circle works. They might play a little on the north if they have to, if they can't get in, but they all want to go south.
Ence have taken out one of the solo players from 3D Max, so one of the French boys is removed. For now, the rest of 3D Max have actually kind of got a little bit scared and they're going to regroup. We did say they were playing a very dangerous game, being so split. 4 individual players all playing a 1-man band out in the middle of nowhere. NIP will opt for the re-rotate just across the Roshawk Bridge. They have to be careful. They'll be able to scout from uphill on that side of it, the embankment, to make sure no one's actually waiting. Only 2 teams who are in the circle now, both from CIS, Unity and Avangar. Avangar, surprisingly quite late to this. They wasn't too far away, like 1,000 meters, 1 cubic square. They're also dipping down south, so they have to be careful that they don't try and do what I think they might, which would be pull up on Potato Hill all the way down just outside of Pachinki. Because if they do, you have the Guerrilla Corps, G-Corp, still chilling, FaZe Clan, waiting around there. Jokers are holding them at bay and pinning them back. We are on the POV of FaZe. Just going to pull back for now. There's no need to take this fight because those houses will give a good level of defense for the Jokers. They can just batten down the hatches and await their arrival. Speaking of arrival.
It's long rotations, isn't it, really? Big fan. Se7en, looking over towards it. Besiktas and NIP are about to clash, though.
Depends where the rest of NIP are. They committed to, yes, they have, but they're just on the outskirts. The grenades will keep on coming. Ultra. Make sure you're prepared for one back, which he is. He'll opt to take the stairwell and just hold point for now. Miraku is not stupid, though, and he might... Yeah, look, oh my god.
Clutch.
Literally, he knew what was going on. This is the thing with like these players at this level will preempt what other players are going to do. He moves downstairs because the grenade's upstairs. Miraku goes for the dome. Thank God he just closed that. But here comes the bombardment. Nades from several different angles. Ultra, you are in a hell of a lot of trouble, my friend.
Yeah, sadly for Ultra, he can't get anything else out of this. They want those kills fast. They're just going to flood the house. I don't think they know there's not more than 1 person, but they're pretty sure Ultra has been claimed. NIP getting some points there for themselves. Besiktas were over in the northern side, and my word, that's going to catch off a lot of teams.
Interesting, because we know this goes away from water in Phase 4, which is coming up next. In theory, because of the size of the amount of land in the north, it shouldn't be going to the north. This will tuck itself in. Either, probably... It's really hard to suggest, but you're going to be looking in the middle between Roshawk and Yasnaya. There's just that little divot of where the mini hill is that goes across the bridge, just lower of the Yasnaya pond.
Teams catching him in the hills, there was so little to work with. Look at the teams, Rich. Keep theorizing about this circle move because the teams are about to try and find their place.
Well, 3D Max have been gifted it. I think Ence have too. They've not necessarily read it well. It's just gone their way. Out in the open, you've got Tornado Energy. They are still struggling because they lost 2 players straight off the bat. The other 2 may have not been able to get themselves back together in terms of gear. Liquid has to do a hell of a lot of work. They like to play central, but there is absolutely nowhere to go off the back of this.
Eastern side. Unity, Zoekt Een Naam, FaZe Clan, Avangar eventually, and actually UT pulled up. They're out to unleash fury towards FaZe, and first FaZe and Uber get completely destroyed on the way. They're not getting past that roadblock, and actually FaZe could potentially get wiped. It looks like AT and Co have kind of just spun off. They've gone, all right, no. We're not taking that long path. We're just going to head in west now while we can. Zoekt Een Naam trying to get past, and that goes even worse. Unity are just bagging bodies right now.
They're playing the road. It's actually been gifted in the fact they went to Sosnovka. They're late to the game compared to anybody else. Zen's forced up into the top end of Yasnaya. They'll be able to play the front or back apartments. It depends what they want to do. However, Unity might be sneaky here and take the front side of it and essentially block them in. Yeah, they just got to be careful because Tornado is out in the field in the yellows. It looks like Unity will commit to the towers. Liquid, they've got to run the gauntlet now. They were in school. Remember, I did suggest that there's not many places to go if you're Liquid.
Where are they going?
You're just looking for anything. There is a petrol station just outside of Yasnaya on the bridge that is currently open, but do they know it's open? They might actually play for the forest.
They could. They can definitely get there. It's not going to be easy, though. You've got Ence looking your way. You have Digital Athletics, 3D Max get vision. Besiktas can get vision. It's really, really tough. We have Unity being held back by Page. Really nice angle. And oh, Page, what a play coming out. Had the support from Vazku there, but excellent individually to hold them back.
They run their teammates over. That just cost them dearly. They're now dead because of it. Oh my God. He pulls the 1 versus 2 and Unity have just bottled out in 16th. What a complete blunder. Thank God they're a little bit up in the charts in 5th position, because if not...
They're trying to make a play for the same place as Liquid.
Uh-oh.
FaZe are running into the Liquid trap, and I don't think they know it, but now they will. The shot's going to come through thick and fast as Liquid are just off to the west, Ence to the east. This little hillside is now littered with...
he killed himself!
Oh, no! Oh, not like this. 8C. Here comes the barrage of nades. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's gone off. And so have FaZe Clan.
We have one team that runs itself over. Maxi with little HP decides to just end it all against the wall. And then FaZe Clan get completely obliterated off the face of the server by Liquid. Good play from Liquid. I mean, hell, what do you do at this stage in the game, this late on, to go all the way from the edge to avoid so many teams? That is a big boy play. To make a move like that, I mean, thank God they had the vehicles. They'll be able to surround themselves and make a little bit of a fortification, which gives them some respite. The circle's gone exactly where we said it was, just below that bridge, the corner and the edge of the river. And again, that's because it's pulling away from water as far as it humanly possible could. But with this one, you'd also have someone like Na'Vi that's been rather smart at this, rather than go central.
Because it has to touch the other side of the blue.
It has to touch the other side of the blue. So they've basically gone out in a 4-man spread, which actually gives them about 20 to 25% of this map.
Yeah, it's not prime territory, but at this point, you're still alive. Exactly, it's smart, because it still had to touch one other side. So really, really good play. Speaking of good play, Page has been a bit of an animal, tapping away at the teams trying to escape from Yasnaya. NIP on the move quickly. They could pull up into the ditch here. NIP still just going to try and find somewhere to go towards. It could be the houses. And yeah, indeed. Gaxi was the one who got caught. His vehicles made it, at least. That's nice. But Vard and Miraku have made it to safety-ish. That compound is hard to hold, but I'm sure they can pull it off. Vadscoop will get the points from that. We do see Se7en working way through to the petrol station. And Team Liquid have vision on this. I don't know if they're in the Wizard Tower. They are. Jeems is there. He's put himself to that spot. And 3D Max in a very nice position. So are Ence here. This is a couple of new teams starting to really find good spots.
Two teams that have very been preemptive here and extending the reach of the circle of both Liquid. Jeems, Samty, AB, and Jempty, they've basically just set up a whole line on the ridge line, which gives them full 360 vision. And when Jimbo also has an M24, you're going to be in trouble. Edelweiss will lose his head on that one. He'll be inside the building, which easy res for now. Best of luck finds Bam back it. Where's that going to be kicking off? All right, that's Na'Vi. That's the second team I wanted to touch on. For the simple fact that they preempted where the circle's going to go all the way up against the blue, they have just set up a line, a defensive fortification. Speaking of fortifications, batten down the hatches because Desperados are here. Fake does deliver one back, but unfortunately, Digital Athletics taking full advantage of that open push.
Yeah, the problem is as well, only Fake really made it there. They lost one in transit, and oh wait, I'm seeing Se7en crashing towards Jeems and Samty. That's them taking over the tower. Yeah, it looked like Liquid fell off that. And now they've maybe lost a bit of ground here. I'm not sure if they just didn't want this potentially going forward, or they felt they would be stronger staying to...
Jimbo, what? For God's sake. He put it through the frigging window and he knew we were going to walk in the bottom. Oh my...
Jeems, that's so good.
Like, he's left the tower on purpose. Not many players would leave the tower. They would sit there and just wait for them to turn up. He's read it like a book. He's backed off. He said, well...
My tower now.
Basically just set the trap, welcome in, puts down a landmine. It's just so good, and this only comes from players that put thousands and thousands of hours into the game and can just bait you into these scenarios. It's ridiculous.
Water's still in this, and Liquid have excellent positioning on this circle. It gets scary because everyone's going to pull up on them, right? That's the one problem with this circle, or their positioning on this circle. They don't have any hard cover, so they have to literally themselves become the cover and fight their way for it. Ence great position, 3D Max great position. Everyone else has to move in. Na'Vi, Besiktas, Jokers all have to kind of just push in a little bit. It's not far though. Jokers still have a little bit of a step to this. Zoekt Een Naam working towards NIP. Vazku has gone up close. This is one thing with the compound that Zoekt Een Naam are trying to take over against NIP. You can move towards it without being seen. That's the one issue of those small yellow houses, because it has that little bit of a dip and a defilade working through it. Page does get spotted, but in the meantime, look who's at the door. Look who's pulled up. Page might be trying to get their attention here. Miraku on the cross back. You need the shots to land. Oh, the turn! What's happened there? Vazku just went down.
Fantastic response. The answer was there. Desperados do go down. Finally, Mert will confirm it, so DA pick up all the points from the Desperados. Desperate times, desperate measures. I did the run, it didn't go too well. You touched on Zoekt Een Naam's approach again with those little lumps and hills that are in front of those yellows. It is difficult to read. There's also the gaps from the farmlands. Page is basically giving up its position. That's the only problem. VAR continues and confirms. Jeems, another grenade.
Gone down.
Like, that's all Jeems. I'm sorry, but I've got to give the man credit. He has just completely wrecked that entire team.
Yeah, that's pretty good considering they've been finishing top 3 consistently. So nice work, Jeems. A little bit of a medal. Besiktas are starting to move up towards the edge of the forest, I guess, the little hillside there. That's going to be Tomil and Simsy trying to find position. Not going to be easy, though, because Team Liquid are just looking everywhere. They're finding fights everywhere they go, and oh, Phantom, that's a horrible, horrible time to be alive. You've got a nade coming in, Pokemon with one. Uh-oh, it's gone through. That was ticked as well. You know it was, and it's found its target. Phantom goes down. Senya's got that.
We'll now force this one back, and this is a beautiful approach from Na'Vi. They've all moved together where everything's been kicking off in the back lines. I'll try and flood this one out, flush out the remainders of 3D Max. I mean, they're playing scared already. They should see him out the window. Yeah, they've... Oh, wait, what? Okay, good response from Noki. That actually allows his teammate to pull across now and take the building. But you got to be careful because Digital Athletics also pulling up on that building as well, Lauren.
Yeah, but they just lost Mert to the car, so had a bit of an accident coming out of it. Losing on a player at this point is not what you want. Noki's still there. Could be holding that one down. A beautiful death spin found by Pokemon. So this has gone far from perfect for them. Digital Athletics try to move up at the right time for themselves, but they're getting third party by Na'Vi, and they can't quite get past the remainder of 3D Max.
Same scenario as Unity, pooping the bed when it matters most. Just honestly approaching and then knocking a player or getting knocked by the car. Come on, boys, you can't let this happen time and time again.
Yeah, that's gutting for them, though.
Not at a pivotal moment like that where you're literally on a pull-up and you need to take fights because there's players in the buildings. Yeah, you knock a player, you then got to commit to someone getting him back up. You take 50% of your team down. And
as soon as people see that, they're going to capitalize.
Yep, third party's galore. Like, you're on the floor, you're just an easy point for somebody.
Yep. Now let's look at the positioning of this final circle because it was scary and now it's even worse. So Team Liquid are in 2-2. You have Jeems and Samty, Ibi and Gemty on one side. All of these compounds we're seeing right now with Na'Vi, Noki, Ence over there, you've got Tornado Energy, you have NIP, you have the Jokers and the remaining man of Northern Lights and Besiktas. Excluding Besiktas, no one else is in this circle barring Liquid. And they've got 10 seconds to move in. It does mean that Na'Vi will have to move towards the 3D Max player. And everyone's going to see each other.
Na'Vi making the approach. They do have that final player in the form of Noki to take out of that building. Tomil.
Good shot.
Finds Moon just off the side, so this causes problems for Yamos and the rest. And the Jokers who do need to make it across. She'll flip the vehicle to give him some level of defensive stand, but Gemty from afar and from a distance down Na'Vi. It's time to make a push as well. There is one player still in there, but Tornado Energy, they need to get past Ence. This is going to be difficult for all these teams that want to rock up.
They're pulling up towards Liquid as well, and they're suffering for it. Vard's already gone down. Samson's gone. There is NIP confirmed. Dead. Likas finds the peak on the corner. Noki does find the right time to strike. Oh, Noki, what a play.
It was a good effort. Does go down finally. Na'Vi at least scrape some points before doing so. Moon about to bleed out. D's just holding point here.
The thing I want to mention is that Tomil right now is only safe to an extent. He's got Team Liquid holding his back. Sick shot from Tom. Dipping around. He knows he can't overpeak. He can't really move too much from this because Team Liquid are behind him. No bullets left. Has to hit the reload. He is being such a pain right now for the Jokers. Smiles are being wiped off their faces as Tom tries to hold down every angle. He's being a threat, and almost, to a degree, Liquid are going to help this if they keep tabs on the Jokers. They're not. They're folding on Ence, and that is a very, very scary time. They've focused a fight here, and Ence don't know how much is coming their way.
They've left Samty on the backlines to overwatch this one and potentially do a fair amount of damage if he can steal one. While all three members of Liquid are committed to this. Two up front, one in the back. Be aware.
Being naded.
Be aware of Ibi. Taking an off angle here with the SLR up on the hill. Gemty and Ibi, nades in hand. Commitment start.
Senya's moving over as well, Rich. This could be another third party.
Ence could be in trouble here.
Yeah, I think once those knocks start to begin, once they start happening, you're going to see the fold from Senya as well. It is going to be Mikas finding Samty on his own. Very isolated on that ridgeline. Good angle from Mikas. Is there a response yet from the Liquid boys? No. They're finding it hard to fight back at the moment. Tomil's still doing damage as well. Rustamark goes down. That's Senya. That's the third party we were discussing. As soon as those knocks came in, you knew he was going to start getting into the fight. Jeems wants some of this, though. He's already having a good game, and he wants to have more of it. Mikas goes down. He's suffered at his hands. Ibi looking for an angle. He can't find it just yet. He doesn't want to just push up needlessly, as Squeaky is trying to deal with Na'Vi on one side, and on his back, He has Liquid, and here Liquid come as well. They're sweeping through this side. They don't want to slow down. Senya does get the kill on Rustamar, that's one bonus, but Liquid cannot tunnel vision this because Na'Vi have pushed up here.
NLT needs to make sure that he commits to Tommel and puts him in the grip.
Held back the entirety of them.
He killed 2. Na'Vi took a final one, but he picked up 2 points. That grenade will give away position. It needs to confirm Tommel in 1. It doesn't. And now all of a sudden, if Tommel responds here, this will be a complete blunder again. He's still going. Ibi saves him. And by every single play that dies around Besiktas, they just keep clawing and up that leaderboard, and they pick up kills as well.
Look, this guy's got critics, but he plays like an animal. You cannot take that away from him. He is truly holding that side of the circle. We have Squeaky still trying to do something here, but did get spotted by Senya, so that's done. Clean path now. 3 teams remain. Na'Vi against Liquid, and Na'Vi are looking aggressive. They're not going to be playing this slowly at all. They're trying to just clear as they go, be smart about this. Tommel wants none of this until that fight does start. If he can be left as the last man, perfect.
You say that, he actually just took a pick at Ibi. He does have a 24, so he could do damage to either of these rosters. If he just lands a bullet, doesn't need to make a knock, doesn't need a pick, but just doing damage, taking away a health from these 2 rosters, might force an engagement. If one of them decides to go for Tommel, you might see the domino effect. Like now, we'll see Na'Vi.
He's so open, though.
He is, and I suppose it's for these 2 rosters, it's a bit of a who can bag the 3 point out in the wilderness.
But you don't want to get tunnel vision. You don't have to spend too much time focusing on him, and at that point, Liquid come over the hill.
Let's be real here. The lad's done enough work to get to top 3 and pick up some kills as well. This is the fight we have to focus on now. 3 versus 3, Liquid, they're on fire. But so are Na'Vi. 9 points in the bag, job done so far. 4 kills alone coming out from Aduze. 11 though. Jimbo has been a monster of a player so far. This M24, Tommel might have one, but he does too. And if he spots any members of Na'Vi...
Senya's going looking. Senya's quite close here.
There's 2 ways that both teams are playing this, right? You have the 3... Okay, Circle kind of... It's not really anyone's, it's all him. Yeah. Liquid are keeping very tight and condensed, whereas Na'Vi, they're splitting up individually. The danger factor here, Liquid don't have any grenades. They can't start the bombardment, as we've seen time and time again. But if Na'Vi do somehow have one in the bag...
unless it's on Bestalok, they don't have any.
They are quite close together. It's the only thing they need to be aware of.
If we could get Bestalok's POV just to see what he's got utility-wise, because I don't think they have any, genuinely. Unless they find maybe a box on the way or something, which I don't think there is. They can't do anything about this. Attack has come down towards one of the Team Liquid members, James. And that could have been Tom, actually. I think it is. Tom's kind of screwed over here by the zone. Tom's pretty much dead at this point, but he has done incredibly well. 2 kills, probably some big damage. He had back a whole team. But does Na'Vi take the focus towards Tommel as the go signal? It's dangerous, and that's why Gemty is prone down, holding the ridgeline. Tommel might just make a stand on the way out. He goes down to the blue, but a very respectable position. Now it is time for the top 2. Look at the instant movement from Liquid. As soon as Tommel goes down, that western side becomes available to them, and they want to utilize that. They can leave Gemty to the east to control this side, to ensure that Na'Vi cannot sweep that side.
SKS for Senya. Doesn't realize how close the players are, so I think it's questionable. And at this point in the game, in this stage, you should be having your AR out ready to go. All players are going to be pre-stimming, getting themselves topped up.
Oh, this is an even fight. This is genuinely as even as you're going to get. Neither side has utility barring smokes. They have that. I don't see a kind of, I guess, sniper rifle on Na'Vi's side, which could be an issue in the fact that you want that kind of one-shot pick ability. If you get a knock here, you're going. That's as simple as it is. And it looks like Ibi's starting to get closer to the center here as well.
Do you know what I can see happening here? If they do get this knock, or at least they get the damage and the connection,
Ibi?
I think Jimty just goes for the run.
I think Ibi's getting very close here, if I'm completely honest. He's banking on a lot of cover from his teammates.
This is the man, for me, who's going to change this game. I think Jimty, if he's very, very quiet, and they all focus towards the rest of Liquid, he just completely nails them from behind. Just the knife in the back. Yeah, exactly. It's going to be so problematic.
I don't know what sort of angle he's got, though. It's good. I just don't know how much he can perfectly see, so he might have to adjust that and kind of try and pivot around. Again, you also don't want to lose out and leave your teammates on their own.
He's regrouping.
Yeah, the smoke's starting to go up. They know what's happening now. The blue is going to start forcing them very far forward at this point. You know that's going to be happening next. Gemty still has a really nice angle to hold the pushover. He still wants to be slightly split from the pack. Ibi's pushed up to the center. He's waiting for people to peek the ridgeline, which is the one disadvantage, and here comes Gemty. He gets the first spot. He sees Bestalok, but he can't overextend himself. This is why he's doing a little kind of like crouch peek, looking for the smallest pixel. He's got maybe a potential line of sight on Senya. I think he might have seen something, but with these smokes still there, They are thicker on their screens, of course. This screen we have X-ray on, you can see a bit more, but Se7en could get an angle on this. Gemty is unaware, has to be careful. This is very, very tense. Both teams do not want to overextend. No one wants to give up the weak point, but the blue will force them closer and closer, Rich.
Empty force back for now. Jeems also gets tickled just from the southern side of Doozy. Sees him with the AKM. Se7en's really overextended. I'm a bit concerned. I mean, I like how deep he's going. I think it's great. You're getting aggressive, but the problem is, if he does knock one, there's no real follow-up and response in terms of where Navi are compared to him, because he's completely away from the rest of the pack. I will say this, though, his position, Lauren.
Se7en's position
with
is
this
really
three-man
good.
split, they're bottlenecking Liquid in the corner.
Yeah, I'm a bit worried that Se7en's been allowed this. Gemty should have stopped it. Uh-oh, Bestelog's found Gemty, but the trade is there for Jeems. The push comes in, and Jeems holds it down. A doozy goes. But look at this situation. Is Bestelog still alive? Who's the other player for Liquid here? Just Ibby. Ibby waits. He holds his breath. Bestelog has taken down Gemty. It's all on Ibby. He spots out the player, but Bestelog now knows his position. The blue forcing them closer and closer. Bestelog makes a run for it, gets tagged, but still stands. But how long? Oh, I don't know who's won this. It's Ibby! He's claimed it with just about half HP left. That was so